Let's update you on one of the most anti-gun states' attempts to stop issuing concealed carry permits, even though they were just ordered by the United States Supreme Court to do so. That's right. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I appreciate your time. Thank you for watching. My name is Jared. This is Guns and Gadgets. This is where you get Second Amendment news on a daily basis. And let's jump into this one. I did a video not long ago floating above that New York was going to stop issuing concealed carry permits, at least one county, because the new law that went into effect, the CCI, the Concealed Carry Improvement Act, signed into law by Governor Hochul, or as Johnny B calls her, Cruella de Vil, which was perfect because she is as ugly as Cruella de Vil. That new law put in a requirement for training that didn't exist yet, and it takes effect September 1st. Well, we are dangerously close to September 1st, and as of 2 days ago, the state of New York has finally released the required training for people in New York to get their concealed carry permits. Now, I'm going to go over this 4-page document really fast. I'll have it linked down below if you want to go into it in more detail and take your time to read it. And then I'm going to tell you about another document issued by a county in New York that says we're going to stop the process. So I'm sure things are they're all in flux because this is happening quick. The governor put all of the counties in a bad spot, but her goal was to stop guns from, concealed carry permits from being issued, even though the United States Supreme Court told New York, you're screwed. So on screen is the document from the Division of Criminal Justice Services, the New York State Police, and it's the minimum standards for New York State concealed carry firearm safety training. I'm going to rip through this real quick. Again, it's going to be linked below for you. I'm going right down to Section 2, the minimum standards for classroom training. And know that this is 16 hours required minimum of classroom training, 2 hours minimum required of live fire, okay? So what they're saying is required is 1, general firearm safety, including overview of firearm and ammunition functions and operation, firearms cleaning and maintenance, safe handling practices, range safety rules, proper holster considerations and retention strategies, for safe concealed carry, minimum of 2 hours. Now, I'm going to pause right there, and a lot of people are going to say, oh, that sounds reasonable. No, it doesn't, because government should never tell you what you need to do as a minimum in order to exercise a constitutionally guaranteed right, period. Now, I believe strongly that anyone who carries a firearm should undergo training to make themselves as proficient as possible. And if you've gone to one minimum training class, you need to go to more. You're not good. You're not as good as you think you are. Nobody's born John Wick. You have to progress via training. So that said, because I know people are going to start typing, back to this document. 2, firearm safe storage requirements. Minimum 1 hour. 3, federal and state gun laws. That's a minimum of 2 hours. Concealed carry situational awareness of surroundings, including firearm display and concealment. Conflict de-escalation tactics. Adverse effects of alcohol and drug use as it pertains to firearm safety. Best practices when encountering law enforcement. The statutorily defined sensitive places list. That's where everything, businesses, etc., even private businesses, are gun-free zones unless they explicitly say, we want guns here. Conflict management, use of deadly force, including the circumstances in which deadly physical force may be considered justified and when there is duty to retreat. Suicide prevention, basic principles of marksmanship, and then the minimum standards for the written test, minimum standards for live fire training, and then it goes into what the minimum standards for the live fire proficiency assessment are. Again, if you need to know this in detail, I'll have a link down below. Print it, save it, share it with your friends in New York. This is kind of new information, kind of hot off the press, but the government should not be telling you what you need to do for training in order to exercise a constitutionally guaranteed right, a constitutionally recognized right that exists prior to the Constitution. You get this when you're born. You get to protect yourself. You don't have to die because Kathy Hochul thinks that guns are bad and she follows everything the anti-gunners say. That's not how it works. Again, I know people are going to agree with this. I don't. What do you think? Down below, let me know. Should we follow what government says? Should we take classes before we can exercise free speech? Should we take classes before we can stop government troops from quartering in our house? Should we take a class before we can stop unreasonable searches and seizures? Should we have to take a class before we get arrested and have a right to an attorney? No. So we shouldn't have to have a class before we choose to exercise the right to keep and bear arms. I want to hear from both sides down below, because I know there's people here from the other side, and that's fine. Let's hear some good stuff down below. Now, real quick, I'm going to show you how much confusion New York's causing, because just days ago, this came out from the Orange County Sheriff's Office. And this was sent by a viewer in the county, thank you, and it took place August 18th. It says, effective immediately, the Orange County Sheriff's Office has stopped scheduling fingerprinting for gun permit applications due to the new law passed by the state legislature and signed by Governor Hochul. The licensing authorities in Orange County have advised this office that they cannot sign off on applications without a social media check of the applicant and proof of training as required by the new law. DCGS and the state police have been designated by the new law to develop a new training regimen, which we just talked about. They were supposed to come up with this by April 2023. But the law requiring a new training regimen takes effect on September 1st, creating an insurmountable issue for the issuance of gun permits. It would be unfair for applicants to collect fingerprinting fees, currently $111.50, with no ability to submit their application. The Sheriff's Office strongly urges any gun permit applicant who has already been fingerprinted to submit their application no later than August 31st, 2022. Any application submitted on or after September 1st, 2022 cannot be processed due to lack of compliance with a new training regimen and social media review. The law does not offer an interim substitution for the training regimen that is to be determined by DCGS and state police, and this office does not have the capabilities of conducting social media reviews for the past 3 years of applicants, given the volume of gun permit applications. There have been lawsuits filed seeking a stay of the implementation of the new gun law. If they are successful, this office will immediately reinstate fingerprinting for gun permit applications if the stay addresses both the social media reviews and the new training regimen. If a stay is not implemented by the court, this office will continue to cease acceptance of gun permit applications until the matter is fully resolved by the courts or the training regimen and social media reviews are available. And that's the big albatross on this law, is it allows the government to look at your social media for the last years to see if you have anything in there in which they think that you might become or maybe or have extremist views. And whose definition is it? Okay? Dangerous. Illegal. Unconstitutional. Yes. Now the sheriff is saying we're not processing any applications. So if you live in Orange County, New York, your Second Amendment has just been taken away from you if you choose to get a permit. And it's all because of this new law and the training. Well, now the training domino has fallen, but the sheriff says, I don't have the ability to check everybody's social media for the last 3 years. And therein is the rub with Kathy Hochul's new law. This is what she wanted. She wanted to make it impossible, or damn near impossible, for the sheriffs to do this effective September 1st. And now we have a whole county saying, dude, we can't do this. And he's bringing it to light. Now, my direct response to the sheriff is, who do you answer to? The Constitution or Cruella de Vil? Grab them, shake them, and step up and be the constitutional sheriff you're supposed to be, and do what's right, and tell your residents that you don't need the governor. And let's see more people start stepping up. That's my rub on it. Let me know what you guys and gals think down below. There's a lot going on in this video, but there's a lot going on in New York trying to screw the people out of their right to keep and bear arms. While they go soft on crime, they let criminal offenders out of jail immediately to reoffend, and they don't care about you or your safety. That says a lot. Till we see each other again, be safe, stay vigilant, carry a gun to keep you, your friends, your family, your community safe, even in New York, because crime happens everywhere, and your life is valuable everywhere, and your constitutional rights shouldn't change because you pass a dotted line on a piece of paper. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.